Well, and a very good afternoon and welcome to another edition of KTN Business Today with me, Abi Agina. We have an interesting show coming up this afternoon. We'll be talking matters to do with the real estate sector. And of course, what does the urban housing market want? We'll be having that conversation shortly. We have with us in studio Eunice Njenga, who is the marketing manager for Jacaranda Properties. And also on the program, we'll be talking about the matatu industry. Do you think the matatu culture needs to change for Kenya to have a better public service transport system? And that is our Twitter poll question for today. Do you think Kenya's matatu industry can reform if the government bans graffiti and loud music in PSVs? You can send in your feedback using our Twitter handle at KTN News, or you can tweet me and I'll be able to sample your views. And remember to use the hashtag Business Today, and we hope to have an interesting conversation about that. And we also have the chairman, actually the brainchild behind the Nganya Awards. He's also going to be joining us. Tomorrow there'll be the Nganya Awards. I know you're wondering, what does Nganya mean? We'll be telling you shortly about that. But first things first, let's start you off with some of the top stories in the business world. The Kenya government has received 5 brand new choppers from the US government to boost military surveillance and hasten response efforts. The 5 choppers were received by Defense Cabinet Secretary Rachel Omamo earlier today at the Nyanyuki Airbase. The cost of the choppers is pegged at 11 billion shillings, with the US government further pledging to commit 1 billion shillings to go towards ammunition support to the Kenya Defense Forces. The latest show of support comes on the backdrop of fears of scaling down of US-Kenya trade ties with the entry of Donald Trump as the President of the United States of America.
Our military cooperation with Kenya is one of the deepest and most important security relationships for the United States in all of Africa. Our programs and efforts include everything from professional military training to joint exercises on disaster preparedness.
Well, the KCB Foundation and the International Finance Corporation have announced the launch of a joint partnership that will improve the young people and the young graduates and entrepreneurs with the requisite skills and exposure to grow their businesses. This initiative was announced by the IFC and KCB Foundation Executive Director Jane Mwangi during the signing of a partnership agreement that brought together the Tujiajiri Enterprise Development Program of the KCB Foundation and Business Edge, the IFC training program to improve management capacity and business performance of SMEs, despite evidence that the informal sector is the principal driver of economic growth and youth employment in Eastern Africa, accounting for around 85% of new jobs in Kenya. Young entrepreneurs in the informal economy continue to face significant barriers to the establishment and the growth of their businesses. Through this partnership, 55 BDS support consultants in the Tujiajiri program have undergone a world-class training under AFC's Business Edge program on how to enhance the performance of businesses in the informal sector. This is a novel approach that creates a structured relationship allowing youthful white-collar graduates to serve their peers who are blue-collar entrepreneurs. There has been an increased demand in the African market for more features in electronics, as a fact that has forced manufacturers to keep a keen eye on Africa. Electronics manufacturer LG has introduced the 4K OLED TV in the Kenyan market. Speaking during the launch, Moses Marji, the general manager marketing LG Electronics, has described the television as the pinnacle of the technological achievement and a new paradigm that will change the dynamics of the next generation in the TV market.
Images simultaneously. Of course, we did not stop here. The 1990s welcomed the development of plasma and liquid crystal display televisions, but LC was fine.
This is all come to increase the comfort and the friendly, easy usability of our devices.
Moving on, UK-based airline FastJet has exited the Kenyan market 11 months into operation due to low demand following the halt of its Kilimanjaro flights and reduction of its Dar es Salaam flights to twice a week. From Monday, the low-cost airline will also suspend Dar es Salaam and Entebbe flights, as well as its Victoria Falls, Johannesburg flights due to financial reasons. Going forward, the airline's route networks will comprise of domestic Tanzania routes between Dar es Salaam, Mwanza, Kilimanjaro, Mbeya and Zanzibar. International routes will be between Tanzania, Johannesburg, Lusaka and Harare due to positive projection contributed to fixed cost during December 2016. In April 2015, the airline raised 7.5 billion shillings to fund its expansion to African markets like Rwanda, Eastern DRC, Congo and South Sudan. Well, like I told you, today we want to talk matters to do with the real estate, and one of the big developments that is set to kick ground, that is the Jacaranda apartments that will be based along Committee Road, and we'll be speaking shortly to the marketing manager, that is Eunice Njenga, on some of the trends that are happening when it comes to urban development, and she is joining us live here on KTN Business Today. Many thanks, Eunice. And a lot of developments happening across the country. Perhaps let's just start off. Phase 2 of the project of the Jacaranda did not receive the much hyped projections you had hoped to. Now you're also doing phase 3. Do you think you are running ahead of yourselves?
Not really, because phase 1 and phase 2 we did, and the sales were okay. And right now the project commenced in 2010. We were able to sell phase 1 and phase 2 really fast, and we matched expectations of our clients.
Yeah.
Yes, we managed to finish on time and everything was set. Right now we are working on our phase 3, which commenced early this year, and we are almost done with the first part of it.
Mm-hmm. And looking at urban housing at the moment, a lot of demand is being driven by the middle class. And what sort of market are you looking at right now that you're doing in the phase 3, considering the location you are planning to build?
Okay, we are also in the same criteria of middle income earners, whereby the rental income there, the demand is very high for rental, and whereby many investors are investing, targeting the rental income. And also we are targeting the young families, like 2, 3, 4 bedrooms. Most people don't even rent them out. They stay, they live there. It's a very conducive living family setup location. It's a gated community, and despite the location has not been an issue at all for us, because security is enhanced. We also have another access to the northern bypass, which is roughly 200 meters from our main gates.
And in your view, what is driving demand for housing in Nairobi and the outskirts?
Okay, what I think is the demand is high, and the moment you happen to develop what is required, and you know what you're targeting, especially when you have your right pricing markup, you can go wrong. The demand is there. Housing is still booming. It's still there.
Developers have been accused of shortchanging buyers by the fact that you put a high markup. How true is this, and how do you address it moving forward?
What happens is it depends with developers. When you know what you want to deliver to your clients, you know what they're expecting. We have different people doing low-cost income houses, and that's where you find they use totally different material from what other developers are using, and that's how they happen to price their houses.
And Eunice, now that you're going towards the phase 3, how do you intend to finance this project? How much are we talking about? How many units will it have?
Okay, phase 3, we have 290 units. The first 3 blocks will be done in a month's time, by end of January, and the rest will be done towards the end of the year. And we have a grand launch tomorrow, launching the whole of phase 3, and we'll have massive discounts for our clients who will commit from tomorrow within 10 days. A cash buyer will enjoy 15% off. Installments, who happen to pay within 6 months, as from tomorrow, and commit within 10 days, they'll enjoy 10%. Mortgage buyers, whom we feel like it's the big number that we have, they'll enjoy 7% off the prices.
Okay.
Yes.
And how much will it cost to build this project?
Sorry?
How much is this project going to cost the company in terms of the construction?
Okay, I can't be able to give about phase 3 only, but when it began from phase 1, phase 2, it was worth 6 billion.
6 billion. And as we wrap up this conversation, Eunice, developers have also been on the receiving end. I remember phase 2 Jacaranda, there are some amenities that were supposed to be in place. Up to now, they're yet to be done. And this is not just happening with you, and it's a common occurrence we are getting right now from a number of home buyers. How do you address the question of whatever you have in the blueprint, executing it to the fullest, because the consumer wants value for their money at the end of the day?
Okay, for Jacaranda Gardens, we had that hiccup sometimes back, which is contained as you're speaking. We sorted it out. The amenities are there, it's only that they are not functional. And by the time you're done with our phase 3, which is towards 2017, will all be up. The swimming pool is functional. The shopping mall is under construction. The issue was about the clubhouse and the kindergarten. They're fully done, and by the time we're done with our phase 3, they'll also be running.
Okay.
Yeah.
And finally, Eunice, looking at the current interest rates, they have been capped at 14%.
Yes.
Are you likely to see an impact in terms of demand by mortgage buyers now that the rates are a bit favorable?
Yes, the number has increased. Inquiries are there. And for sure, like for Jacaranda, we are sure most of them, they've been calling and they are sure that they want to commit and enjoy the 7% from our end and also enjoy the 14% from the financial institutions.
And your parting shot in terms of there was perception that there were internal wrangles behind this project. Just give us the position at the moment. We had a court case in place. There was internal fighting. Can you confirm or deny this?
No, I don't think there's any internal fight within Jacaranda. Jacaranda is it was developed by a Prasato company back in China. It's purely Chinese, and the quality that is there, you can tell it's international. So the fight that was there was just regarding the amenities, which we managed to contain.
And the family wrangles?
The family wrangles, it happens everywhere. It's individuals who are there, and for sure, it was just one incident that happened sometimes back. And
do you think this will see the family part ways down the road?
Not really, because even most of them are tenants who come and rent the house from the investors.
Right.
So that means that one mess can mess the whole place. It was just one incident which was contained very well, and we moved on. Yes.
Many thanks there, Eunice Njenga, the marketing director for Jacaranda Properties, just giving us some insights into the real estate sector, which has been considered as one of the fastest asset classes that has registered stellar growth. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll be still talking a bit more to do with the low-cost technology. We have a gentleman from Shelter Afrique, as well as an interesting conversation on matters to do with the Matatu industry. We have the Nganya Awards tomorrow. We'll be telling you all that after this break.